Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Story of More, Chapter 19, Another Page. And this is the last chapter, but after this chapter, there's a short appendix, which I'll do another video on later. But this chapter, it starts off with a story of hope. Of Hope, the author, talking to her father and asking her dad, "Dad, do you think there'll ever be world peace?" And her dad says, yes, I do. And the young author doesn't really believe it at the time, but she's like, "Well, why, Dad? Why do you think so?" And Dad gives a bunch of reasons. But the most important part was that her father believed that it would happen, and she could feel that belief. And so she believed it too. Yeah, Dad, I agree. I think we will have world peace too. And that's kind of the whole theme of this book, is believing that we can have change, or certainly this last chapter. And so the author talks about a lot of different solutions that have been offered to help against climate change. Creating a huge shield to block the sunlight, to creating huge growths of algae and plankton to suck up carbon dioxide and then die and go to the bottom of the ocean, to protect glaciers and things like that. All sorts of different solutions. And those are good, but they're either we're going to take too long or the results are too unpredictable. And so she talks about the best thing that she sees so far is using less. Of the major countries in the world that are using their power, America, New Zealand, a lot of countries in Europe, lowering their energy consumption. That is the fastest, easiest, most controllable, predictable solution that Hope can see. And she encourages us to use less. She says it's really going to take each of us. We can't trust the government to make policies. We can't trust the industries to lower their consumption, just like the factories and things like that. What it really takes is our personal responsibility. If we want to see changes in industries, then we have to choose based on our actions. So, for example, meat. Okay, we learned that meat requires a lot of energy. So with our own actions, we have to stop eating meat or eating it less, so that way the meat industry realizes the change in the market and they'll change to get the money, right? So they'll change their practice based on our actions. So she's saying it takes each of us our own choice to lower that consumption and do what we feel like we can do. She says, whenever she teaches this class, there's always at least one student that just is like overwhelmed. "Oh my goodness, we're all gonna die. The world is gonna burn up in a ball of fire." And they go to her and say, "What should we do? What can we do? Is there hope?" And she says, yes, I believe there is hope. There is hope that we can do it, because humanity has solved all sorts of problems. All sorts of difficulties have been overcome. And we can do it. We can overcome this. It's no different. But it will take us working together. And so she really has this strong sense of hope, and saying that hope, though, depends on us taking ownership, of us taking responsibility of our own lives. How can we use less energy? Each of us. And she challenges us and says, what is the most energy consuming thing you do? Okay, how can you lessen that activity? And she even talks about happiness. That, especially here in America, we consume so much, but our happiness rank is actually lower than it was before. Even though we're consuming more and using more, it's not equaling greater happiness. And so she says, even though we use less, we can still have happiness. And she ends with this thought that right now, the future is a blank page, that there are endless possibilities of what we can create and what we can do. And there's so much hope in that blank page. We can control what is written on that page. We can control our history. And so she encourages us to make actions, to do something that future generations will see the written pages about, of how we changed and how we used less. And that is how the book and chapter 19 ends. And yes, there is an appendix where I think she's going to give some more specific examples, which I'm excited to look at. But for the most part, that is the end of the book. A few vocabulary words here. Polio, the first one. Polio is a virus, and it was almost eradicated, destroyed from the earth. And it was a virus that would get in your spine, in your nervous system, and make it so you couldn't walk. And it would even kill you. And vaccine, one of the first vaccines in the world was for the polio virus. And that protected hundreds and thousands of humans, even today, from that virus. Substantial means enough, important amount, a great amount. Novel is like new and different. Mitigated means to dull or lessen or dampen. Terminal, you've probably heard of like an airplane terminal, a building, a center, but terminal can also mean incredibly important. So for example, her cancer went terminal, meaning so serious that she'll probably die, right? Or he, whatever. So a terminal illness can be a serious or important kind of illness. Unabated means not, I'm trying to think of an example here. Unabated can be like persistent or not giving up, relentless, not stopping. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think of other examples there for unabated. Not stopping, I think. Not turning down. Peak is, I had to look this one up because I've never seen it, but peak is like an irritation, political, she talks about like political annoyance or irritation. I had to look this one up again. Intransigent. Oh, intransigent. Man, I had to just look that one up to figure out how to pronounce it. And this means like unyielding, inflexible, not giving up, kind of like unabated, actually. And she uses this word to talk about some intransigent disasters, like bacteria poisoning a well, or drought killing crops, things like that. Like these really persistent, terrible things that we were able to overcome, just like climate change. And that is the last one. That leaves me to my discussion question, which is, what do you think is our greatest hope against climate change? And Hope Jaren, she gave a bunch of different examples. But what about you in your research or your knowledge? What do you think is our greatest hope as far as technology or maybe our own actions that are going to help overcome the issue of climate change? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.